The thing that's not talked about with good relationships.
Everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we'll be talking about this topic about the real side of a healthy relationship, the part no one warns you about. It's not all perfect communication and romantic date night. There's a lot of what happens behind the scenes that people don't talk about. And in this video, we're going to get honest about what a healthy relationship truly looks like. So I'll put the videos together so that you watch. I'll be back to share my true sense.
The thing that's not talked about with good relationships is that they don't always feel good, but not for the same reasons that a bad relationship feels bad. In a bad relationship, you often lose yourself in the dramas and the highs and lows. In a good relationship, you're forced to face yourself. You don't have the distractions from your own shadows. You have the safety and security to face your ultimate battles. And many times that can feel really hard and very uncomfortable. In bad relationships, you're held back against your will. In good ones, you're forced to grow.
This is a hard truth about what this relationship's actually acting as a mirror, because you're seeing the consequences of your actions and your reactivity and a lot of your trauma-based behaviors in real time, because you're watching them impact a person that you really care about.
Nobody talks about this, but your first healthy relationship after a string of unhealthy ones is usually the hardest. The reason is because your nervous system finally feels safe to let go of all the wounding you've been carrying. Finally in a safe and loving relationship where you know that person's not going to run when things get hard. And so your body is allowing you to do that self-discovery work, which can be really intense. It can be really triggering. And your partner is essentially holding up a mirror, reflecting back to you the good, the bad, the ugly, all of the things that you love about yourself, all the things that you don't like about yourself. You're going to be able to see where you're not allowing love to come into your life still, because this beautiful, healthy love is like nothing you have ever experienced if this is your first healthy relationship. And no one talks about how intense that can feel when you haven't been loved correctly. The more that you can surrender and view this as a beautiful invitation to deepen your inner healing, the easier it will be.
Here's the thing no one tells you about good relationships. Good relationships don't always feel all that good, but it's not for the same reason that bad relationships don't feel good. Bad relationships are the ones filled with all the drama. The highs are higher, the lows are lower. When I say bad relationship, I mean anything from a toxic codependent situationship to a relationship with a man who's emotionally unavailable or won't commit, or a match that simply is incompatible. Either way, your needs just aren't being met, and it's just this constant cycle of cortisol, dopamine. You're really stressed and then it feels nice again, and then you're really stressed about it and then it feels nice again. These bad relationships are a great escape from life. They give you the chance to lose yourself in someone else's drama or your own created drama. It's like you're living in your own telenovela. When you're spending hours trying to figure out how he feels, where is this going, trying to decipher his text and what did he mean when he said X and why is he taking so long to text back, you don't really have to face yourself. You lose yourself in the emotional high of it all. And it's even better if you're dealing with a guy who's a complete damage case, a complete emotional mess, because you just become so invested in his problems, you completely forget about your own. And you're able to attach your happiness to this imagined place and time when, as soon as he gets his act together, everything will be perfect. We'll have this amazing, incredible relationship. But in a good relationship, a relationship where you're on the same page, where you aren't waiting anxiously for the next text, where you're not spending hours wondering if he likes you and how he feels about you, when even asking the question would be ridiculous because it's just so obvious that he likes you. Well, those relationships bring you face to face with who you really are. And sometimes it'll bring out the best in you because there's good in all of us. And sometimes it'll bring out the absolute worst. Sometimes you will realize that you are your own worst enemy, that you've been sabotaging your own happiness at every turn. And sometimes you'll realize that you're the problem and that maybe you're the toxic one, because maybe you've been holding on to a lot of past pain and a lot of hurt that you never really dealt with. You can't blame him because he's giving you all the assurance, but yet you can't feel totally comfortable and confident in the relationship. And that's because of you, and that's because of the internal stuff that's going on. So sometimes when a relationship starts to feel bad, the easy thing to do is just end the relationship and say, maybe this is not right. The harder thing to do is to look within and say, What's going on within me that's making it so hard for me to let this person love me? Just something to think about. Make sure to follow me for more relationship advice.
One thing I wasn't prepared for being in a healthy relationship is just how much it will make you evaluate the other relationships that you have in your life. And I don't necessarily mean this in a negative way. My boyfriend is literally my best friend in the entire planet. We have such a good time, such a good laugh, and there's honestly no one else that I want to be doing life with. And at the same time, he's showing me a way to be treated that I didn't even realize was actually available to me. And that's not to say I expect, or you should expect, relationship treatment from every person that you come across, but the genuine friendship in it is also teaching me a lot. Having such a core, strong, grounded in faith foundation, I think just giving me a bit of breathing room to look around me and just think, who is actually my friend here? Friendships are one of the most important things to me. I genuinely don't think we can be doing this life thing alone, but I'm just now also learning that keeping people around you just for the sake of it, who don't treat you well, who don't care about you that much, or whatever it is, also isn't the healthiest space to be in either. You deserve healthy relationships, you deserve a healthy love, you deserve people around you that help you feel grounded and will help you grow through life, and that you can help them do that too. And that's something I'm just now realizing.
Every single healthy relationship I have ever seen, including my own, always has this one thing in common. And I'm not kidding you, I genuinely mean every single one. And that is that both people in the relationship are able to healthily set boundaries. They're able to communicate and express them. The person on the other side hears the boundary and then respects it. If you're in a relationship and you're having trouble with any of these three things, that is a sign that your relationship needs some work. It can be healthier, because boundary setting is not a problem in a healthy relationship, yet it's always, or most of the time, a problem in an unhealthy relationship. And if you're a guy listening to this and you want to get better at boundary setting, I have something for you. I have a free 3-day mini course, the link is in my profile, and it's helped thousands of men so far increase their masculinity. And a big part of that is actually boundary setting. So go check it out right now. I promise you, you're going to love it.
5 inconvenient truths about healthy relationships that no one publicly admits. I've studied exceptionally resilient relationship dynamics for nearly 2 decades and identified 5 counterintuitive truths that, although widely confirmed by clinical research, are rarely openly discussed in mainstream cultural narratives. It's not romantic platitudes that build lasting connections. It's these fundamental realities, often uncomfortable but extraordinarily liberating, that characterize truly sustainable relationships over time. Truth 1. Partial incompatibility is inevitable and potentially valuable. Every significant relationship includes areas of permanent misalignment. It's not a flaw to eliminate. It's that generative tension which, consciously managed, creates the context for mutual growth that would be impossible under conditions of perfect compatibility. Truth 2. Mutual disappointment is an integral part of authentic intimacy. Each partner will inevitably disappoint the other. It's not a relational failure. It's that necessary evolutionary process that dissolves idealized projections, allowing the emergence of a connection based on acceptance of the other's complete human reality. Truth 3. Attraction significantly fluctuates even in the most solid relationships. Periods of erotic disconnection are normal and predictable. They're not symptoms of incompatibility. They're those natural cycles of closeness and distance that reflect inevitable life transitions, hormonal changes, and the evolution of individual identities over time. Truth 4. The presence of recurring conflicts is physiological, not pathological. About 69% of relationship problems are never completely resolved. It's not a sign of dysfunction. It's that documented structural reality requiring acceptance that some differences can only be managed through compassion and humor, not eliminated through communication. Truth 5. Complete psychological interpenetration is neither possible nor desirable. Areas of emotional and mental privacy remain essential. It's not a lack of intimacy. It's that healthy separation that preserves the necessary mystery and individual integrity that paradoxically makes sustainable connection possible over time. Save this video, not to justify resignation, but to develop that relational maturity that distinguishes between solvable problems that require solutions and perennial relational paradoxes that require acceptance, humor, and evolutionary perspective. Follow me for more.
That's the video, guys. I'm just here also to share my choices, like what I think about today's video, the things they don't tell you about a healthy relationship. One of the first things they don't tell you is that healthy relationship can still feel hard. You might expect that if you found your person, everything will just flow naturally. But the truth is, even love that's safe and respectful still require consistent effort. You still have misunderstanding, you still have moments where you are tired, disconnected, or even frustrated. The difference is in a healthy relationship, you work through it without fear. You don't feel abandonment or manipulation. You just talk messy, honesty, awkward talk, and keep showing up for each other. They also don't tell you you feel lonely. Sometimes it's completely normal. Being in a committed relationship doesn't mean you're emotionally fulfilled every minute of the day. Sometimes your partner may not understand what you're going through. Sometimes they are wrapped up in their own stress and you feel unseen. But that doesn't mean something is wrong. It just means you still two separate people with your own lives, moods, and emotions needs. A healthy relationship allows for space. It gives room for those moments of loneliness without making you feel guilty or need for having. Another thing that's rarely discussed is how much a healthy relationship can trigger your deepest insecurities. It's easy to assume that once you are in a loving relationship, all your fears of abandonment, rejection, and worthiness will disappear. But often the opposite happens. When someone start treating you well, it can bring up all the wounds from people who did not. You might start questioning if you're worthy of this love or support stage of moments of peace because you're used to chaos. That's when you realize love is not just about finding the right person, it's about healing yourself so you can receive that love fully. In a relationship, you will notice that love becomes less about grand gestures and more about the quiet, everyday actions. It is in the way they remember your coffee order, how they listen when you're venting about your day, how they touch your back when you're anxious. Those small moments are real foundation that are not flashy. They don't go viral, but that matter more than 1,000 roses on a Valentine's Day. Yet people often overlook them because we have been conditioned to expect love to look loud and dramatic. Health love is consistency, and consistency is not always exciting but it's powerful. Another thing they don't tell you is that you always feel in love. The spark, the rush can fade, and that's okay. Healthy relationships are not built on consistent butterflies. They built on emotional safety, trust, and shared values. Some days you look at your partner and feel incredibly close. Other days you feel distant or irritated. The love doesn't disappear. It just shifts form. Real love is not always passionate. Sometimes it's just showing up. It's choosing your person on the boring day, in the hard times, and ordinary days. Let's talk about accountability because this is a big one. In a healthy relationship, you have to face the truth about yourself. You have to admit when you're wrong, apologize even when it hurts you, your pride, and learn how to compromise without keeping score. You realize that love doesn't mean always getting you away. It means growing. It means understanding how your world and actions affect someone else. And sometimes the growth is uncomfortable. Sometimes it exposes part of you that needs healing. A healthy relationship will change you, but in a way that builds you up into your tears. Another reality is that attraction aims and flows it naturally. Life is getting busy, bored, and change. Routine gets stale, and in a healthy relationship that doesn't scare you, it invites you to reconnect, to explore each other in a way, to laugh about the awkward phases and still choose intimacy even when it's not perfect. People don't talk about how attraction needs to be nurtured. It doesn't just say alive on it, but when there is emotional safety, the physical connection often follows. Then there's the importance of maintaining your own identity. In a healthy relationship, you don't lose your identity. You don't stop having interests, goals, and friendship outside of your partner. In fact, your partner should encourage your individuality. They should remind you to chase your dreams, to take time for yourself, to keep growing as your own person. Love is not about merging into one, it's about walking side by side, supporting each other without losing yourself in the process. People also don't talk about how real love sometimes feel boring, and I don't mean boring in a bad way. I mean calm, predictable, stingy. That's not something we taught to value. We are taught to chase drama, to feel excitement, to crave intensity. But healthy relationships feel like exhaling, like finally being unable to breathe, and that's kind of peace that's rare. Okay, another thing, we have learned to appreciate it, especially if you have been conditioned to associate with a cause. And here is something that's uncomfortable to admit. You still have moments of doubt and your compatibility. your future, your feelings, and that doesn't mean your relationship is failing. It just means you're human. Real commitment is not about never questioning, it's about choosing each other every day. A a truly healthy relationship won't fix your life, but it will support you while you fix your own. It won't complete you, but it will complement you. And most importantly, it won't demand perfection. It will create space for you to be honest about yourself, flaws, and all that kind of love people don't talk about every day. The quite stingy, honest kind. That kind that doesn't look perfect from the outside but feels safe from the inside. So if you're in a relationship and doesn't look like the movies, that's okay. It's messy, complicated, but full of care and growth. That's okay. Don't let the internet fool you into thinking a healthy love is easy, always pretty. It's not, but it's worth it. A healthy relationship won't be perfect, but it's real, and there is so much real love there. So I've put the videos like that so that you learn. I'll be back. Bye. See you in the next episode.